Hello fellow builders, it's great to have you back for another video from our Let's Play series, Twisted Dunes, on the Oasis map. I'm your builder, New Build Cities, NBC for short, and today I'd like to build a really nice cargo airport from the Airports DLC to help support our industrial area, so let's get started. First, let's go ahead and use the painting tool to paint out the area for the airport, and then we'll go ahead and lay our runway. So in this build, the cargo airport's not going to be monstrously huge. We don't have a whole lot of room to work with. Of course, being on 9 tiles on console, you get what you get, right? So our space is always valuable. And truth be told, I think we're importing maybe 2,000 or 3,000 units of stuff, mainly agricultural products, crops really, for our farming industry, part of the industry's DLC. As well as maybe exporting 6,000 or 7,000 units of stuff from our industry's DLC and a little bit of generic goods as well. So we don't need a huge airport to support that, which works out well because we don't have a lot of space for a big airport anyway. And for the airport, what I think I'm going to do is place down 1 or 2 import stands and 1 or 2 export stands. I mean, we'll kind of see how it goes. Right now it looks like I have 3 cargo stands down, but we may adjust that as we let it run for a little while. So you might have scratched your head if you haven't seen a lot of my content on what do I mean by setting this airport up with 2 stands that are import only and export only, and because there's no buttons that will allow you to do that. But basically what you do is you use the taxiway, since it's one way, and to make a stand dedicated for, say, import only, you would have one-way taxiway that comes from the runway and goes to the stand, then it ends. It doesn't come back. And that way planes will land, they'll unload their cargo, and then they'll despawn or disappear. And then the opposite is true for export only. You just have taxiway such that from the stand to the runway it's leaving, and there's no returning way, and what will happen is trucks will load up the plane, and the plane will taxi onto the runway and fly away, never to be seen again. It has no effect on your import and export numbers, so you still make money. So there's nothing detrimental that happens. What I find it really does help is it completely eliminates all those planes that have 0% full, because when I first set this up, I saw a lot of the planes being loaded up at the stand. They would fly away, and then they would come back empty, go to the stand, and either reload up, or they would just sit there for a minute, we'll say, and then despawn, and then a new plane would come. And I was getting a lot of those, like 2, 3, even sometimes even 4 planes like stacked up on each other. But ever since I kind of figured out the whole one way in, one way out system, I don't have any of those problems. I have a video on it. Maybe if I'm smart enough, I'll link it in the description below. It's one of my noob tips of the day, how to fix your cargo station. But it basically took the cargo station from like 100 flights down to about 40 flights, while also maintaining the import and export numbers. So it had no effect to my bottom line, but improved all the air traffic and therefore truck traffic. It also encouraged the planes to carry more material, so I was having less planes that were lightly loaded. And I've kind of found out, just through like tinkering with it, that you need a stand for every 2,500 to 3,000 units of import or export. So like in my case here, if I was exporting 9,000 units worth of stuff and importing 3,000 units worth of stuff, I could probably get away with 1 import stand and 3 export stands. And if you wanted to be cool, you could probably have like an import export runway if you had the space. And I just want to do some detailing with the terminal, and where we have like the air traffic control. And if you missed the last couple episodes, we've done a lot of work in this area. We built a nuclear power plant, which turned out really well, as well as we built a nice industrial area to, like, we'll say the left side of the airport that we're building now. And that looks really nice, as well as with the new trees. I had a lot of fun decorating the stream, and it looks really good. So I'll just show those off real quick. That probably took like an hour or so to do. Well, let's go ahead and finish the detailing in this little spot here. I don't think anyone's going to use that gazebo. I don't think they can actually walk in here, but it's there. And the game doesn't care. I put a path in there, so the game's cool with it. I'm cool with it. We got some cool fencing in here. Got the flower beds. It's just a nice little area that maybe you could come out in. Like the workers could come out here. Maybe just get outside the control center for a little bit. And sometimes during the builds, I like to kind of build some, then like do a little detail, and kind of go back to building. It just helps space out the detailing stuff, because the detailing stuff looks really good when you're done, but it's, you know, it's a little bit of a pain if it's not your thing. I try to break it up. And I don't know what you guys like to see. If you like to see a little detail, a little bit, so I just mix it in here every once in a while. Alright, so let's go ahead and do some work on this side of the airport. And we got to be careful here. We got water that's going to overflow the bank and flood the airport. And we got to bring the train line in here. So let's go ahead and do that. And what I like to do is basically have the train line kind of go underneath the runway. So that way I don't want like my planes to hit my train as they take off or land. So I just want to create like some height separation. So I'm going to go ahead and in front of the runway, I'm just going to make it look a little bit lower. I mean, obviously they wouldn't do that in a real airport, but I don't have that much space and it is okay. That's realistic enough for me. I mean, we could do a tunnel. I'm used, you know, if you know me, I'm not a big fan of tunnels. I like to see the stuff. I like to see the trains driving around. Part of the fun of this game is just sometimes you just grab a soda or a drink and just watch it run and see the things moving around. So we have the benefit of the airport cargo station, which has 2 tracks. So what I'm going to do is set up 2 tracks. So one track is going to allow importing and exporting, we'll say, from the east side of the map, and then the other track is going to allow the same thing from the west side of the map. So that way we split up the train traffic, because some are going to dock on one platform, some are going to dock on the other platform, which means we should eliminate really too much queuing, you know, trains waiting on the other trains to load or offload. As well as they actually come out in a different spot too with the trucks, so it allows the trucks to kind of separate as well. So it's a good thing overall. One of my favorite parts of the airport's DLC is that airport cargo train station. I will say, though, I'm disappointed in the cargo airport just because it's dependent on the passenger airport. So I'd already at this point leveled a passenger airport up to level 3 from the airport's DLC. They said in the next episode, we're we're basically going to rebuild it because I just don't, you know, it was my first pass at it. It didn't come out, it came out okay, but I think we can do a better job with it. But that being said, I was just disappointed in the cargo side of things. Since this is the cargo video, I guess we can complain a little bit about the cargo airport. In order to unlock the cargo airport terminal, you have to get a passenger airport to level 3, which to me is dumb. A nice way to say it. It's just dumb. It's like saying in order to start your ore industry from the industry's DLC, you got to get your farming industry to level 3. Like, they're not really necessarily related. They are part of like the same DLC. I mean, but you can build an ore industry or not. You can build a farming industry or not. You can build a cargo airport or not. You can build a passenger airport or not. They should have made it more like Industries DLC, where the cargo terminal airport and the passenger airport were just independent pieces of the DLC. They had their own leveling mechanism. Maybe it was like an amount of goods imported or exported or something like that for like the cargo. Because once again, there's no mechanism to like, hey, what's a good cargo airport? I don't know. But they do have, you know, attractiveness and all that for your passenger airport. Here, you know, cargo airport, if I'm misremembering, doesn't really have a mechanism to level it up. So I feel like that was a big miss. And I just want to do a little bit of detailing with the airport. Not a whole lot, but just some. Let's go ahead and get some fencing in. Get some security with our airport. And we got our fencing in. That's looking good. Go ahead and do a little detailing in this little spot where we have the planes. I think I'm going to put a couple water assets and stuff in here, maybe some towers. And I want to be just a little goofy and put the tower from the amusement park in here. I just want to see what it looks like. It looks a little goofy. Maybe we'll get rid of it. But let's go ahead and keep adding a few more things. Looking pretty cool. And we're done. I went ahead and removed that amusement park asset. It was a little goofy. But let's go ahead and take a look at the airport and see how it turned out. After planting a handful of trees and just I did a little bit more detailing here and there. Let's take a look at the little spot where we have our control towers. That looks nice with the little flower beds and stuff in there. And a little bit of office buildings, just as like some support buildings. Here's a look at the runway. I have 2 stands import, 2 stands export right now. You can see the import only. The taxiway just leaves the runway and comes to the stands. And the export only leaves the stands and goes to the runway. But I had just like our nuclear power plant, added a quote-unquote substation, power substation with some other campus DLC assets, as well as I added a few park life DLC assets in here, just to kind of maybe simulate a couple more maintenance type buildings in here. Added some pathing. Up on the hill, we added some antennas, some larger antenna, and a couple rocks and some stuff in here, just to make it look nice. And we have a couple of the hangars and planes and fueling stations in here. I mean, it looks nice. I like all the vegetation. I tried to keep a lot of the vegetation more like the low-lying stuff. I added a few water assets in here next to the terminal. Once again, just to give it a little bit more of an industrial feel. And that's our cargo airport. I hope you like the build. It's probably very different from the traditional let's build an airport that takes up a whole tile. It's a very small, compact, and efficient cargo airport that's serving the city great. In the next episode, we'll build a passenger airport, and that'll kind of complete our airports DLC and airports in the city. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, please leave a like. That helps out the channel tremendously, as well as I'd love to have you become a subscriber and a new member of our family. If you'd like to interact with me live, stop by my Twitch page, link is below, and shoot me a follow. That way you'll be notified the next time I stream. I wish you mayors the best and brightest success in your cities, and as always, happy building.